Hello students, welcome to Well Explainedpedia. Today I am here with class 10th biology chapter R environment part 2. In the previous part we have discussed about our environment and the components of the environment and how they are interlinked with each other. These components, biotic and abiotic components, are interlinked with each other. In this section we are going to study about the food chain, food web, waste management, and how the human activities are giving harm to the environment. So coming to food chain. A food chain is the flow of food energy from one organism to the next and so on. It is a chain in which who eats who. These food chain usually start with a producer and end with a carnivore. In a food chain, an organism gets food from one group of organisms. Okay, so food chain usually they start with a producer, means food chain का जो सबसे पहला organism होगा वो एक producer यानी autotroph होगा. उसके बाद consumers आएंगे. Now it depends कि who eats whom, तो how many levels will be there in the food chain. Here are few examples. Grass is eaten up by the deer and deer is eaten up by the lion. So here the grass is the producer, deer consumes grass, so it is a primary consumer, and as lion consumes the deer, so it is a secondary consumer. In this, how many steps are there? 1, 2 and 3. Now in this food chain, grass is a producer. It is eaten up by insects, which is a primary consumer. Insects are eaten up by the frog. They are the secondary consumers. And frog in turn are eaten up by the snakes, which are the tertiary consumer. In this, you can see in this food chain, grass is the producer. Moth is the primary consumer. Moth is eaten up by the frog, which is a secondary consumer. Frog is eaten up by the snake, which is a tertiary consumer. And snake is eaten up by the hawk, which is a quaternary consumer. Quaternary consumer means consumer of fourth level. Primary consumers are consumer of first level. Secondary consumer are consumers of second level. Tertiary consumer are consumers of third level, and quaternary consumers are the consumer of fourth level. Now this is a food chain. Producer grass is eaten up by the grasshopper. Grasshopper is eaten up by the snake. Snake is eaten up by the hawk. This hawk when dies, its body is decomposed by the fungi and the nutrients are again available in the soil, which are again taken up by the grass. Sunlight is available, water is there, nutrients are returned back to the soil by the decomposers. Now what is a food web? As the name is suggesting, web. Web means jal. The food web is a group of several interconnected food chains. In a food web, an organism gets food from more than one group of organism. Means कोई एक फूड चेन ऐसा नहीं है कि ग्रास जो है वो ग्रास हॉपर ही खाएगा. ग्रास को डियर भी खा सकता है, ग्रास को रैबिट भी खा सकते हैं. ग्रास का मतलब या प्लांट का मतलब ये नहीं, प्लांट प्रोडक्ट कैन ऑल्सो बी देयर. जैसे hen eats grains, तो दैट इज ग्रेन जो है दैट कम्स फ्रॉम द प्लांट्स, तो दैट इज अ प्लांट प्रोडक्ट. तो जरूरी नहीं है कि एक फूड चेन में दूसरा ऑर्गेनिज्म लिंक नहीं हो सकता है, लिंक हो सकता है. दैट इज व्हाई अ फूड वेब इज फॉर्म्ड. एज यू कैन सी इन दिस एग्जांपल, plant eaten up by the squirrel eaten up by the owl directly. This is our food chain number 1. Okay, now plant eaten up by grasshopper by bird by snake, and snake by owl. This is our food chain number 2. Now plant eaten up by grasshopper eaten up by frog eaten up by snake, snake by owl. So this is our food chain number 3. Okay. Now plant, grasshopper, frog. Then frog is eaten up by the fox. This is our food chain number 4. You can see in these food chain, plant is common to all, whereas this frog is common to this third and fourth food chain. Okay. Grasshopper is common to second and third food chain. Then plant eaten up by the rabbit. This is our food chain number 5. Rabbit is directly eaten by fox. It's food chain number 5. And if rabbit is eaten by wolf, it is food chain number 6. Then plant eaten up by deer. Deer is eaten up by the wolf. So you can see in this food web, there are 7 food chains which are interlinked with each other. Now, what do you mean by the trophic levels? Each step in a food chain where transfer of food energy takes place is called as the trophic level. The first trophic level consists of producers. The second trophic level consists of the primary consumers, that is the herbivores. The third trophic level consists of the secondary consumers, that is the small carnivores. The fourth trophic level consists of the tertiary consumers, that is the large carnivores. Since the transfer of food energy decreases at every trophic level, the number of trophic levels are limited. That is, they do not exceed 4 or 5. मीन्स ज़्यादा लंबी फूड चेन्स नहीं होती हैं क्योंकि हर लेवल पर जो एनर्जी ट्रांसफर है that is less than the previous one because some energy is lost to the environment. That is why the number of trophic levels are limited. अगर बहुत लंबी फूड चेन्स होंगी, बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रॉफिक लेवल्स होंगे तो क्या होगा, लास्ट तक आते आते एनर्जी इतनी कम रह जाती है which is not sufficient to meet the requirements of that organism. That is, it is not be able to perform its body functions with a so much less amount of energy. You can see these are ecological pyramids. They are also known as pyramids of number. You can see at the base in all there are producers. After producers, primary consumers, that is the herbivores. Then secondary consumer, which are the carnivores. Carnivores means small carnivores. Okay. Whereas tertiary consumers are the large carnivores. You can see this food chain, producer, herbivore, primary carnivore and secondary carnivore, it consists of 4 trophic levels. Now energy flow in the trophic levels. Green plants producers, they absorb about 1% of the solar energy falling on the leaves and stores it as food energy during photosynthesis. Means jitni bhi energy green plants ko available hai from the sunlight, they absorb only 1% of that solar energy. Okay. And after absorbing that solar energy, they undergo the process of photosynthesis. Food is prepared and this food is stored in the form of chemical energy inside the body of the plant. Now, during the transfer of food energy from one trophic level to the next level, अब मतलब plant के पास तो 1% of the total energy which was available from the sun, उसने उतनी एब्जॉर्ब की. अब प्लांट इज द फर्स्ट ट्रॉफिक लेवल, तो वहां से जब नेक्स्ट लेवल पे एनर्जी ट्रांसफर होगी तो 90% of the energy is lost to the environment. You can see such a huge amount of energy is lost. Only 10% is transferred to the next trophic level. So there is a decrease in the amount of food energy transferred at every trophic level by 10%. And this is known as the 10% law. Now, biological magnification. What is biological magnification? We know harmful chemicals like insecticides and pesticides, which are used to protect crops from insects and pests. They are absorbed by the plants and enter the food chain. These insecticides and pesticides, they are absorbed by the plant or the plant parts and they enter the food chain from there. Since these chemicals, these pesticides and insecticides, they are non-biodegradable. They get accumulated at every trophic level and their concentration increases. Since human beings occupy the highest trophic level, the concentration of these harmful chemicals is maximum in our bodies. The increase in the concentration of harmful chemicals in the bodies of organisms at higher trophic level is known as biological magnification. Means higher trophic level पे this these harmful chemicals or the poisonous chemicals, they are transferred from first trophic level to another. अब energy जो transfer हो रही है वो कम हो रही है, but these pesticides and insecticides, when they enter the food chain, they get their concentration get increased at each trophic level. So this is known as biological magnification. Now, human activities affect the environment. We all know, we the human beings, we are the most intelligent of all the creatures which are made by the God. But our activities which we are doing is affecting our environment badly. First of all, the depletion of ozone layer in the atmosphere. We know ozone is the gas O3. Okay. Ozone molecules contains 3 oxygen atoms and at higher levels, we know oxygen is there, or higher levels पे क्या होता है, the UV radiations by the sun, they split some oxygen molecules into free oxygen atoms, और ये free oxygen जब oxygen के साथ combine करता है oxygen molecules के साथ, they form the ozone layer, and this ozone layer protect us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations which are emitted by the sun. The ozone layer present in the higher layer of the atmosphere protect the earth from the harmful UV radiations from the sun. These UV radiation causes skin cancer in humans. Skin cancer, and it can cause cataract. It also causes some respiratory disorders in human beings. This ozone layer is being damaged by the use of the chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons used in the refrigerators and the fire extinguishers. So, the use of the CFC is now being reduced to protect the ozone layer. UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Program, has signed a treaty so that the use of these chlorofluorocarbon is banned because it is adversely affecting our ozone layer. Now coming to waste. What is waste? Waste is unwanted substances present in environment. The waste management is also very essential. Why? First of all, we should know what is waste management. Waste management is all those activities and actions required to manage waste from its inception to its final disposal. Inception means from its production. This includes, amongst other things, collection, transport, treatment, and disposal of waste together with monitoring and regulation. It also encompasses the legal and regulatory framework which relates to the waste management, encompassing guidance on recycling, etc. Now, effect of adding waste to the environment. If we are adding waste to the environment, it produces so many kinds of pollutions. Human activities produce a lot of waste material. You know, daily we are producing a lot of waste material which are thrown away into the environment, and these waste cause pollution of air, water and soil. The waste material produced are of two main types. They are the biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste are waste which are decomposed into harmless substances by microorganisms. The biodegradable waste, they are decomposed by the microorganism, and in this what are the examples? Vegetable peels, fruits, pulses, cereals, cottons, jute, wool, wood, leather, paper, animal dung, animal bones, etc. Now, all the natural, the waste coming from the natural substances falls under this category of biodegradable waste. Now, non-biodegradable waste. These are the waste which are not decomposed by microorganisms. Example, polythene bags, plastic, synthetic fibers, glass, metal, synthetic rubber, insecticides, pesticides, etc. You can see all of these are artificial things, means which are man-made. That is why they are harmful for our environment. Now, method of the disposal of waste, that is the waste management. As you can see, first of all, we should segregate or the separate out the waste into different containers. We know the 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, that is reuse less, buy less, avoid waste, turn off lights, take shorter showers, carpool, etc. You have learned in your previous classes also. You must be knowing about the 3 R's. Then second is the reuse. Use things more than once. That is, use cloth shopping bags, repair, re-gift, try travel mugs, compost, etc. And the third R is the recycle, that is separate waste materials so that the recyclable products can be transformed into something new. That is reduce, reuse, recycle. But now there is fourth R also, which is refuse. Now there are no more 3 R's, there are 4 R's, and the fourth R is refuse. Refuse means when you are not in need of any substance or anything, say no to buy it. Means many a times we have noticed कि अगर हम मॉल गए हैं और सेल लगी हुई है, अगर हमें नहीं भी किसी चीज की जरूरत होती तो हम उसको खरीद लाते हैं और बेकार पड़ी रहती है. तो we should learn to refuse to buy such things which are of no use. Now, the next method of waste management is landfill. How to manage waste, that is by the landfills. It is the most traditional method of waste disposal. Waste is directly dumped into disused quarries, mining voids or borrow pits. Means landfill means land को fill करना है. Means wherever the land there is some borrow pit or कोई quarries हैं which are not in use or mining voids are there, so we can use them for the disposal of waste. Disposed waste in these landfills is compacted and then it is covered with soil. The gases generated by the decomposing waste materials are often burnt to generate power, and this landfill is generally used for the disposal of domestic waste. Now, the next way or the method of waste disposal is incineration. Incineration means burning to ash. It is a waste treatment process that involves the combustion of solid waste at 1000 degrees Celsius. Means it is such a high temperature. The waste is burnt in furnace. Waste materials are converted into ash, flue gas, and heat. The ash is mostly formed by the inorganic constituent of the waste and gases due to organic waste. The heat generated by incineration is used to generate electric power. Now, these waste, the organic waste especially, can be used to generate biogas, and the sewage can be used to generate sewage gas. Biogas typically refers to a mixture of different gases produced by the breakdown of organic matter in the absence of oxygen. Biogas can be produced from raw materials such as agricultural waste, manure, municipal waste, plant materials, sewage, green waste or food waste. It is a renewable energy source and in many cases it exerts a very small carbon footprint. Means biogas is very clean fuel. We can use these biogas. It is also known as gobar gas. We can use means in the rural area, biogas plants are there and they are used to generate biogas which can be used for heating and lighting purpose. It is a very clean fuel and very cheap fuel that can be used. That's all for the chapter. Thanks for watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will get notifications. Have a nice day. God bless you all.